I have been inspired by two happenings. One of them is I just sent off a Christmas parcel to Steph, my YouTube bestie here on, of course, YouTube, and also a gift that I received from a subscriber, and I have filmed that unboxing and I will put it right there for you as well. What that did, and I have part of the parcel that I received from Jay here, it just brought Christmas early for me. And now I have been infected by the Christmas vibes, and I've had the poinsettia out for a few days, but it was more so because it was December 1st and on, and but now today I'm really feeling that Christmas spirit. I had decorated the house and everything. I hadn't felt it yet, but I have felt it now. And if you want to go and take a look at that video of what Jay sent me, I do have a spoiler, and it is this one item, because this one item is an eyeshadow palette, and I thought, you know, we are in December now, and I thought it would be fun to take a look at the 20 palettes in my collection that most inspire the Christmas vibes. I think that those are fun things. It's nice to go and rummage in our collection and take a look at whatever it is that we have. And I will say, Jay, that this will be an unofficial Christmas palette, because I will always remember what time of year I got this. And I haven't tried it yet, guys, but I will try this palette on camera just because. All right. So I have in front of me 20-ish palettes, and I say 20-ish because there are a few that are combinations of palettes, so it's two palettes in one, but it's meant to be used together. Hopefully that makes sense. So 20 things in succession to show you. And they're in no particular order. In some cases, the order they're in is just the way I could stack them. I have talked a lot about holiday sets recently. This, as a matter of fact, is a look that I created with the Lancôme palette for this year. And I want to talk about the Lancôme holiday set from 2 years ago. And I have two palettes here because I ended up buying the two sets. One of them is meant to be more cool, one of them is meant to be warmer. And I ended up buying both because I loved both palettes. So I had two full sets. This is the warmer side, called Glow. And then there was this one called Glam. I loved everything about these guys. I loved the packaging for holiday. It was beautiful. Cardboard packaging. There was a full mirror in it. And it was truly well curated palettes. And it is by far, across all the makeup I've received in holiday sets from Estee Lauder, Lancôme, and Elizabeth Arden, these won it. And this was back in 2019. Really, really great sets. I was so impressed with them. And the train case that they came in was also amazing. Yeah, kudos absolutely to Lancôme. Following on the, I guess, trend in this video for the bigger makeup brands, Estee Lauder had launched Estee Edit, I think it's 3 years ago now, and they had this as a Christmas release. On one side is face products, and on the other side, which is what really makes me think of Christmas, is the jewel tones in this side. They are really good products. They are magnetized to each other, and as you open the palettes, this was a very good execution. They did a great job. There was some flack about this packaging. I don't personally understand it. I think that they did a great job with the color selection and the way that they can be stored. Yeah, every time I see it, I remember when I got it. I remember the contents. I don't even have to open them up. So I think that that is a very successful product. Why it didn't work out, I think just the Estee Edit, the marketing really didn't work out, but I would be hard pressed to declutter these. And one that is super cute, I just have to show you, is the Gingerbread Spice little palette from Too Faced. It smells like the holidays, and the colors are very appropriate for the holidays. So here's the front, and here's what it looks like. That gold is beautiful. It's a really fun and lovely smelling palette. I really enjoy these little guys, and I have picked up a few of these little guys, and the other one, I went hunting for it and it was right in front of my face. The chocolate gold from Too Faced as well. I think that gingerbread and this palette has somewhat of a similar vibe color-wise. I just think that they hit it out of the park with those little themed palettes that just makes you feel warm and fuzzy inside. And for me, a chocolate fountain is always related to a festive situation with family and friends. So it was a double whammy for me for holiday and also just great events with people I love and want to see more of. Now this next one is a gimme. It has such holiday vibes in the packaging, and the eyeshadows match. It is a very Christmassy palette, and it is called the Mothership Sublime Bronze Temptation. And look at the colors, right? I mean, that is as Christmassy as it gets, right? And the packaging is gorgeous as well. Out of all of the Pat McGrath palettes that I have that are 6-pan, this is definitely my favorite. I would be so hard pressed to get rid of it. And I just have to point this one out, or two of them out. Corruption and Provocatrix, I think, yeah. They are so beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And yeah, every time I do a look with this palette, I get asked what is on my eyes. It's just, the curation of those 6 colors was masterful, absolutely masterful. And since we're on Pat McGrath, let me just open up another one. And the reason for this one is the chocolate brown and the red. It gives me that kind of Christmassy vibe. And also, based on the colors, they are very appropriate for just about any kind of special evening. But I think you can get some Christmas vibes out of this. It's such a beautiful palette. This red really makes my eyes pop, and I just love it. All 4 of these, I don't love all Pat McGrath shadows, but all of these are just rich colors, super flattering, and just a delight to use. Now I have 3 palettes in a row from one brand, and the reason I do is just like a few from Too Faced that I felt were really holiday vibe related. Lise Watier is one that does really great holiday vibe palettes. I'm going to go from the oldest to the newest. And this is one from 3 years ago, and it is called Stardust. And I think this palette is really where she got pretty serious on holiday vibe palettes. And the blue, the silver, and the gold in here are just fabulous. If I'm not mistaken, the brown up here was a one and done shadow that looks so nice. I was really impressed by the pen size, although it's not the most product that she's ever had in a Christmas palette. It's just that it just felt like there was a lot of potential across the colors, and I mean, the packaging makes me think of the Ciate Glitter Storm. It was just such a good choice. The following year, it was the Diamond Collection, and look at this, right? She does holiday packaging so well. And I did quite a few looks with this palette as well. And very different from the previous year. So it's not a bunch of repeat shades, and you have a chance to have a little bit of a difference. So it's They have some of the same hues, but they're not the same shadows. So I'm going to just show you side by side, because just based on what I said, because you didn't see them one after the other, you may feel like there's repetition, but it's not really the case. And now there is this year, which I think is the nicest set that she has come out with for holiday. Just the finish on the front of the package, and it is encrusted, which I think is just beautiful. The colors inside, she really went for it and chose a scheme. And so it is more on the cooler side than the warmer side, but the curation I felt was really well done for this year. You can go right out cool. You can also do a warmer look with some of these shadows just because of the gold. I felt like it was such a good curation and good eyeshadows even for today's look. When what I used from Lancôme was not appropriate, I went right into this palette to get the brow bone color. And it's beautiful eyeshadow. The quality is there. The appeal for gift giving, whether it's to self or others. I mean, look, how is this not a gorgeous Christmas offering? So you get the eyeshadows, you also get a face palette, and you get a lip gloss. Although the lip gloss so far, I've tried it on camera and it gooped up on me like crazy. It was a big mess. But I have to give it a few other tries wearing it a bit differently. But the eyeshadows and the other powder products, mwah, beautiful. Now I could have taken out a couple of palettes from this brand. Enchanted Secrets is another one that I could have taken out. But this is truly the one that I think of as a holiday palette from Linda Hallberg or LH Cosmetics. Look at the Christmas goodness in this one. I dare anyone to tell me it does not make them think of the holidays. Every single time I think of a holiday palette, this one is always in my top 3. Always. And the quality of this, out of this world. If she puts out metallic shadows, I highly recommend trying them, because my look comes out amazing every single time. This one is purely because it's winter, it's festive, and nothing more than that. I don't think that the shadows in this palette are anything to write home about, but the packaging, I think they hit it out of the park for a winter type palette. So it's the snowflake theme and they carry it right into the palette. It just makes me think of a nice warm fuzzy sweater. And so that is part of why I enjoy using this palette. I tend to go more for the center and this side of the palette because of these two colors. I would say the application's so-so, but the experience of using the packaging was a lot of fun, or continues to be a lot of fun. Now this next one is a palette from Sigma, and it is the Untamed palette. And the reason it has made it into my Christmas palettes is purely because of the color story, not the packaging. It is a palette that makes me think of, that I think of when I want to do an unusual and sparkly look. And this red definitely comes to mind, as do the nice, very bright shimmers up top. And to a certain extent, this one as well, if I want a light color. So this one and this one would be a great pairing. And I did think of the Enchanted palette from Sigma, but the richness of the mattes in here is really what won it out for me. It's a palette that comes to mind for that reason. And for the reds and the glam, this palette from Woma Beauty, Black Magic, wait till you see the silver and the silver, the reds, and the black in here. So ignore the blues for a second, and let's just focus more so on that side of the palette with all the beautiful reds, and then that black, which is a black, and that silver. It is a gorgeous palette to have a red look or a nice sultry black and silver look. The reds in here are absolute bomb. If I want to have a red that will not disappoint no matter what, this is the palette I need to go for. For similar reasons, the Jackie Aina collab with ABH has such rich tones and a variety of tones that this one does also come to mind for the holiday season. And take a look at the corner over here with the red, that beautiful, beautiful kind of, it's not copper, it's not gold, but it's kind of a mixture. And this one up here, right up here, beautiful. You've got the green, you've got the red, gold. It's just, it's a lot of options for a glam, bam look for whatever the occasion. And of course, Christmas is one of the best occasions of the year. And when I think of a jewel toned look, this one absolutely comes to mind. Now, this one's a no-brainer. I have a lot of favorites from Colored Raine, and it's always tough to choose between Queen of Hearts palette and this one, but this one really does have the rich jewel tone colors, more so than the Queen of Hearts. So I will show you this palette. Now this palette, you will see, has not been used yet. I just took it out of my backup options because I had depotted this palette, and I do use it in my Quad of the Month series, which I did suspend for a little bit. It's coming back. And I just needed to see it in palette form, and so I'm glad that I had a backup of this one. I don't normally do backups, but in this case, I thought that I would have this because I was so impressed with the first one I got that I would probably give it as a gift, and I had it in my collection for a while. When I realized I wasn't using the singles except when it was in Quad of the Month, I thought, no. This palette is just too much fun, too good for me not to have in my collection intact. And so I have decided to bring it back in my collection and to use it even though it's discontinued. I want to use it in its intended curation all together. Just my preference, and I really am sad that they discontinued it, that the Colored Raine lineup discontinued this palette, because it was really awesome. I'm not quite sure why. I don't know if it was profitable enough or whatnot, but Colored Raine is really amazing. If I could, I would have put all my Colored Raine palettes in here for a holiday palette walkthrough, but this is truly the one that has the holiday vibes, the holiday colors, and that I think of when I think of a holiday palette in Colored Raine, in the Colored Raine lineup over time. This next palette for a holiday palette comes to mind because to me it's a topper palette. And to me, a topper palette is usually a palette that I use when I'm going and doing something special. And there are a number of toppers in here that would and have been for me terrific for the holidays. So if I just want to use a palette of mattes and I want to pair it with something, this is usually what I end up using. And these guys are fantastic for a holiday topper. I do sometimes wander over on this side, but I would say that this is more where I'm going to spend my time for a topper during the holiday season. And they're just beautiful. They're just beautiful colors. Let me see if I can pick another one. I do also really like this one. It's so nice to put on the inner to 2/3 of the lid. You can do the most boring look ever, and then you put a topper like this from a topper palette. Doesn't have to be this one, and it always looks amazing. And next, I'm going to cheat a little bit because I'm going to show a palette that I just added to my collection. It is the Christmas gift to me this year. And it's a palette that I've been waiting for 2 years to get. It's the Natasha Denona palette, and I have just done the swatches, and it looks like this. And it's in this lineup for 2 reasons. One of them is that it is my Christmas present this year, and the other one is the number of gold or goldy orange options in this palette it's substantial. So if you just cover this up, you can see quite a few pops of gold and goldy copper. And then on this side, you can see a beautiful red right here that to me is quite a festive red. I really am excited to use this palette during the holiday season this year. There's so much. And out of all of them, this color right here just gives me all sorts of holiday feels. So I am looking forward to using this palette. And of course, the requisite green, you know, I'll use that at least on the lash line, guaranteed. So I'm super happy, and it's even green. I'm super happy to have this palette. It is suspected to be discontinued because it's not on the Natasha Denona site anymore. It's been out for 2 years. It was the holiday palette in 2019. Yeah, I would really have regretted not picking up this palette. As far as I know, as of this filming, it is still available on Sephora Canada. So is the gold palette, and I believe the gold palette is also one that is on its way out, just to let you know. Now, we only have 3 to go, and this next one is going to be kind of funny because it's from Violet Voss, but I'm going to show you almost the same types of colors as are present in the Metropolis, at least one column of this palette, and it's the column that makes me think of holidays. So take a look at that middle column. This one right here. And then to some extent, these 3, and just as a bottom row here. How is this not Christmas vibes? This part of the palette is really what comes to mind when I think of this palette, period. It's a beautiful set of shadows. The intensity of the colors is significant, right? I absolutely love this palette. It is my gem from Violet Voss, and I highly recommend it. And we only have 2 more to go. First off is this one. This one is the Mothership 5 palette. And there is a red and green in here, along with a more beigey type shimmer that definitely makes me think of Christmas, or holiday, I should say. It's basically this whole quad right here that makes me think of Christmas. It's so beautiful. And then this beautiful shade right here. It's such an amazing palette to use for the holidays. Sorry for blinding you. There's 2-tone green to gold to pink on that end. There is a very powerful bronze to gold hue, and this red, orangey red, is beautiful for holiday looks. So I've got a kind of a green and red going on in here, and then some other jewel tones and deep mattes. It's so easy to make a beautiful look with this Mothership 5. There's a reason why that's the first one in her whole lineup that I chose, and I've not regretted. It's such a beautiful palette. And finally, much for the same reason, I picked out this palette for my birthday this year. It's the Mothership 6, and it has a number of similar features as the Mothership 5, but with, of course, its own spin. So we have a brick matte red, we have a gorgeous olive tone, and as a matter of fact, when I opened up this palette, I did call it a Christmas palette. I mean, there are a number of colors that really make me think or give me Christmas vibes. And so it's been a pleasure to use so far. I've only done a few looks on camera with it, but I am definitely smitten with the Mothership 6 Midnight Sun, and that one is on mega sale right now, at least at the time of filming, on the Pat McGrath website. Just to mention, it's $105 instead of $170, which is a huge discount in my opinion. And there you have it, 20-ish palettes that give me Christmas vibes. I would love to hear what your favorites are this time of year. Please let me know in a comment. Well, please let us know in a comment. I would really appreciate it. And with that, I will say thank you so much for watching. Enjoy your holiday-related goodies, and I will see you in the next video. But for now, take care.